It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
Intra-year volatility is a pretty standard thing. Bo, you and I have used this research a ton, and I was actually excited that Daniel was able to go update it all the way through where we are in 2022. But JP Morgan releases the intra-year volatility calendar that shows the columns are the years, and then you see by the row it shows you negative performance, it shows you positive performance. Right in the center is the break-even 0 point, and we know markets make money 8 out of 10 years historically, but you guys would be shocked to find out every year or average, the markets are down. There's a 14% swing on intra-year volatility.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Even in some of the years that we think about where the market did really, really well. I'm looking at like 2013. Market made 30%. People forget that inside the year, there was still a 6% decline. You think about early in the 2000s, markets up 26%. I want to say that was in 2003, 2004. There was still a 14% intra-year decline. Our memories are so short, we remember what it felt like once the race was over. We forgot about how tumultuous the actual journey was throughout the year. Volatility is nothing new. It's something that we see almost every single year, even in the years when the market has large outsized performance.
Yeah, we tend to, as time goes on, we remember where they closed the year at or what we made and what you got to keep on your annual report. We forget all the sausage making that went on between the years. I mean, I was managing money since the mid-90s, and I can distinctly, this is before I was more of a secondary advisor in 1998, worked with some professional athletes and others where one year because you look on paper and you're like 1998, it made 27%. I actually had a client show up in 1998 and say, give me my money now. And in a very imposing way, it made it seem like bodily harm was going to befall me. You can understand me in my 20s. I'm like, it's not like we keep it in the back room. It's one of those things and look, you're like, how is that possible in a year the market made 27%? Because when that individual showed up at the office, the markets were down 19% for the year, and he had come into this money. He was new to investing. We had, you put the money to work and it loses 19%. Fortunately, we were able to convince him, keep your money working. Do not panic. That's the worst emotional decision you can make. He ended up closing out the year with that money being made and then some on top of it because of the quick turnaround that happened in 1998.
But now some people are saying, okay, Brian, I hear you. The average downturn intra-year is about 14%. I can handle that. But what if this is the big one? What if the big one is coming? Well, again, I think that some perspective is helpful when we think about the big one or the frequency of market downturns. So if you think about the market as a whole, this is information from money.com from 1928 all the way through 2021. So we have a large sample of data here. What we found is that the market falls by 5% every year, about every 1.1 years. The market only falls by 20% about every 4 years. That ties in what we say, down years usually happen about twice a decade. If you think about larger downturns than that, like a 30% downturn in the market, that only happens about once every 9 years. A 40% downturn in the market only happens once about every 20 years. And if you could think back to the video clip we showed earlier where the guy said, the markets are going to drop by 50%. That's something that's going to happen. That type of market activity historically only happens once about every 50 years. So what you have to do is determine, am I in a portfolio where I can weather this present volatility without being scared of the big one? Because maybe the big one doesn't happen quite as often as you think it does.
And even a lot of, I see who's watching our content. And a lot of you guys are in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Even if we did have the big one, the one that we're all worried about, the black swan where you lose 50% of your assets, I want you to be a financial mutant. Look for the positive of even that, because we have shown so much research. It's been retweeted. Other people love the content. The Great Depression, if you go look at I believe it's from 1929 to 1954, the market was pretty much down, and it took 20 plus years to get back to break even. You're like, there's no way anybody made money there. We showed, but if you bought on an annual basis, if you just always be buying, you'd be shocked to find out that even in a horrible time to invest, you could annualize performance greater than 11% just because you use volatility to your favor by buying through the craziness. So if you're young, you're not retiring for over 10 years, don't let this stuff sidetrack you.
I think you're even saying something different. Not even don't let it sidetrack you. Let it get you excited. When you see volatility, you'll be thinking, oh, great, now I need to go make those Roth contributions. I need to increase my 401k contributions, because the dollars that you put to work inside your army of dollar bills, inside of volatile periods, are going to be some of the hardest working soldiers in your entire army. So remember that. Take that, internalize that, and let that be rocket fuel that kind of continues you on your financial mutant journey.